Do you think that corruption is only a big people problem?
No, even an individual, it's not big or small. In your own way, integrity is one man army. Integrity is tested only when you're tempted. Right? There are many occasions in which, when I was handling a financial institution, I was tempted.
When someone is promoted at work who's less qualified just because they have connections, what I'm talking is after the entry into a workspace, how does that pan out in terms of?
I run corporate enterprises like financial institutions in few countries. Trust is broken. It's a demotivation to the staff morale. If you look at it, self-esteem is getting challenged as a group when there is a discrimination.
Hello and welcome to another episode on the Green TV. I am Shruti Seetharaman, a storyteller, a sustainability advocate, and a content creator who believes that making everyday changes to our lives can help build a more sustainable future. And in conversation with me is Dr. Seetharaman, who is a global leading voice in everything sustainability and is also a global leading banker. So are you ready to talk about what I would say is that why do rules exist, number one? And if they do, why does sometimes fairness feel optional and what can we do about it? So I'm going to shoot some questions about everything in terms of rules and unfairness and how people feel. So basically talking about the UN Sustainable Development Goals.
Yeah.
Goal number 17, I think.
Goal number 17. You are spot on. Peace, justice, and institution. That's ultimate, isn't it? That's governance to this beautiful planet. That's a global governance, how you structure it. So it matters when it comes to, if you don't have such framework, it's like a traffic signal. So you have green, amber, and red. If it is red, you have to stop because there are other commuters on the frame. You don't want to have accidents. So you want to have fairness in the frame.
Yeah.
You want to have happiness to the community, and society as a whole should be peaceful. To govern this, you need trust. If individuals are not trusting each other, there are conflicts. It's home. And it's a beautiful saying by former President Abdul Kalam. When there is righteousness in your heart, there is beauty in your character. When there is beauty in your character, there is harmony in the home. When there is harmony in the home, there is order in the nation. When there is order in the nation, there is peace in the world. What a beautiful, profound statement.
Yeah. And that's what makes me question that why does it sometimes feel like some people follow rules and some people don't? Because when you see that there is no order in the nation, you feel that way, right?
Absolutely. It's chaos. When there is no order in the nation, the trust is broken. So whether you are running a home, there is no need for conflict if there is alignment in thoughts. Fairness, there's no discrimination. There is, people are speaking up on the issues. Fair amount of communication, which is bridging the gap, if at all. There's an order, right? And that gives happiness, gross welfare to the family. Same thing holds good when you run a corporate. Same thing holds good when you run a country. Again, continent, planet as a whole.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And the question is, what does peace actually mean? Because a lot of us think that peace just means no fighting.
No. Peace.
Or no war.
Huh?
Or just no war.
No. Fairness, again, equal opportunity. All are equal.
Yeah.
You don't discriminate. That's very important. Say, when you understand, we have a small passage of time. You have to go through this experience as living animals. There are apart from human, there are nature gifted with living animals, right? You have water. If you look at water, then sea is full of, opportunities in terms of livelihood. There are animals under the water. There are above the water. And we have also life on land. we have to understand we embrace the five powers in this prosperity.
Yeah.
That is, sun, the earth, the sand, water, the wind. The gravity comes from the solar system, air. These are opportunities for you to converge and embrace an equal opportunity to create for entire interacting personalities,
Yeah.
including animals, right? They coexist. It could be insects. They coexist in this planet. You're not alone. You're part of the cosmic system,
Yeah.
celestial, divine. That's why always they say, a mind, you can procure happiness. The short term. Peace is coming only from the soul. Soul is a director for the mind and the body.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think peace, in my opinion, I think a lot of people who don't fight, who don't have conflict, are also sometimes not at peace. And I think that's because peace is more about also, like you said, being fair, about existing, coexisting with the ecosystem, but also that means feeling safe, feeling heard,
Yeah.
being in a place where, there are a lot of people who say like a person feels like peace, a person feels like home, I feel peaceful. It's not because there's lack of difference of opinion. It's not lack of fighting or conflict. I think two people who have different opinions will always have an agree to disagree moment at least once in their lives, if not regularly. And I think regularly is healthy. But if you still feel peaceful, I think it's because you still feel safe enough to have that conversation, even if you might not agree. You still feel heard and someone still listens to you.
Because
Yeah,
you'll be
and
peaceful, comfortable only when you have identity of mind and heart
yeah,
and the soul converge.
yeah, even
There
if
is clarity in terms of the communication.
yeah, I truly believe feeling safe, feeling heard, feeling like things are happening in fairness is what peace is about and less about conflict.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. The next question is, when people don't trust the system, when people say nothing's going to change anyways, then what happens?
Everything is broken. Community doesn't exist. Trade, in commercial term, trade, it doesn't exist. You're seeing now, two of the top world countries are in conflict zones.
Yeah.
So the supply chain is disrupted. Global governance is into disruption. Whether America or China, single largest economy and the second largest economy, they don't trust each other. In the process, you have realignment in the frame. There could be some new opportunities in terms of business, trade or investments, banking or finance, but it disrupts even when there are geopolitical conflicts like what we are witnessing now between Iran and Israel Arab conflict.
Yeah.
If you look at it, enormous amount of disruptions. There's no peace. How many people are disrupted?
Very
Displaced.
unsettling. Yeah.
Bioreserves are disrupted. We are getting rain, black rain, as they say. I can go on and on. Nature is completely going backward now by another 3 to 5 years in the last 40 days. It's gone. So we have to understand the dynamics of peace lies in fairness. Global governance should be fair.
Yeah.
Between developed world, developing world, rich or poor countries. You have to be inclusive in terms of society, one world, one family. Love. The trust also creates, out of love.
Love. And now I want to talk about a real world example or a real life situation, rather, not a particular example. But what I want to dwell into is, favoritism that happens at work. And no, I'm not talking about nepotism in the way that you get an opportunity. I'm talking about beyond that, when someone is promoted at work who's less qualified just because they have connections. What I'm talking is after the entry into a workspace. How does that pan out in terms of?
I run corporate enterprises like financial institutions in few countries. Trust is broken. It's a demotivation to the staff morale. If you look at it, self-esteem is getting challenged as a group. When there is a discrimination in terms of decision, whether it is increments or promotions, the productivity gets into rough weather. See, it's a feel factor. If you don't motivate people, you can't get everything done by law or rules. Fairness prevails in practice of humanity. When it comes to administration, you have to be fair. You should be transparent enough to give the communication why you have promoted, why you have not promoted, why you have given increment, why you have not given increment. If there's no fairness, then staff productivity is getting compromised.
I totally agree. Like I said, it's not about the entry point into a job or getting a job. It's about whatever your job is, whatever your scope of work is. It's about moving up within that space of work that needs to be done so rightfully and responsibly.
Yeah.
I think that is a big difference. And I think a lot of people misunderstand that. I think there's so much of debate, even let's say in the Bollywood industry, this nepotism has been like a never-ending topic. But I think people really don't get it. I don't think nepotism is the problem. The favoritism is the problem. I don't know why people are misunderstanding what the genuine problem is.
It's a deep dive subject.
I mean, honestly, I feel like tomorrow, if you worked really hard to provide a life for me that meant I could have access to opportunities or a better quality of life, I really don't think nepotism is the problem if you gave me an access point. I think beyond that, if you favored me in a job, if I was working around a space and you asked someone to favor me over somebody else, that is
True.
That is the bigger problem, because me getting entry into a job is really not changing anyone's lives. Honestly, it's not. If I don't perform, the person who was meant to get that job will get it. But that's what needs to be addressed. I think sometimes we focus on the wrong aspect of what the nepotism or favoritism is. That's my opinion.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think. Okay, this brings us to our next question, which is, do you think that corruption is only a big people problem?
No. Even individual, it's not big or small. In your own way, integrity is a one-man army. Integrity is tested only when you're tempted. Right? There are many occasions in which, when I was handling a financial institution, I was tempted. I had bigger opportunities to make short-term money. That's greed. I never borrowed in my life. In personal terms, I'm telling. If you are tempted, your vision to have a long-term commitment is compromised. If you compromise your integrity, you are not at peace. There's a constant conflict within yourself, between your heart and mind. That's what the philosophy is all about. Heart, mind, and soul. Your body, mind, and soul, if you look at it objectively, nothing gets suppressed. You cannot suppress your soul. Soul is, again, that's where towards the truth the whole value system hinges. It's a beautiful design. You have to recognize all this doesn't matter whether you're a big person. Is he happy? Is he peaceful? Is truly loving himself? You will not be able to love yourself if you have constant conflict within yourself. You can accumulate material wealth, but you cannot be peaceful. So as a small person, you start first. You will go big.
Why do you think sometimes people choose to stay silent and not speak up?
Silent is not peace. Silent doesn't mean you're going to have peace. Peace is social justice. Peace is equality, right? And transparency.
Yeah.
So you have gross welfare, inclusive society.
But why do people not speak up?
Because they fear. They fear